Happy Saturday. If one isn't good enough, we'll do two. Sorry. An emoji. A screen for another day. Hey, Carrie. So, I took the train for this walk today, and I kind of wanted to start off at the train station because it's a gem of a train station. Across from Universal, and it's a little bridge that you can walk across the street and get views of the hills and the valleys. We are at Universal Studio City. It took me, 11 minutes to get here on the train. It would have taken me 12 minutes to drive. Before I get to the train station, I always check when the next train is by looking it up on maps. And I usually get a time that it'll take to get there. And actually the car never beats the train except for today. So I would say this is the gateway city to the valley, sort of, and also on the other side of the 101. So I want to first start off at Campo de Cahuenga. Hey, Nomad. Yeah, I'm in the valley. I am a literal valley guy today. And glad you're here. So, they have little events here. I just kind of love this building aesthetically. The garden is an 1840s historic garden of native flora. And the building, which we missed the plaque, we should definitely check it out. I didn't decide. I think you might have requested the valley, and a couple of other people have requested the valley, or Burbank in particular. And so I tried to pin together a walk that wouldn't... The valley is just more expansive than Los Angeles, I feel like. So I wanted to have a nice walk where we were looking at stuff all the time. So this is the plaque for this house. I guess maybe it's not real. I thought it was. I didn't really read that carefully. This train station actually has more information on the history of California than I ever knew before, being stuck here waiting for a train one time. It has a beautiful, beautiful tile work. So they do hold events over here. We're just gonna pop in. They're having a poets and writers event. We'll just walk through the garden, try not to get this lady that is looking like she thinks I might want to photograph her. So maybe we're not hitting it at the best time, but what? A great historical spot. Even more historical because I don't think I knew that. With a good old sundial, which has nothing to do with the actual monument. I love a good sundial, though. I can still tell the time. So that's not the original building. This is. That's the original foundation. You know, I never got that before today. Oh, that is a little bit of Los Angeles or California history. courtesy of LA Unknown, and then if I ever would have made it to the plaque. It is a beautiful day. It is about 5 degrees warmer in the valley. We're gonna go out of here now.
But yeah, so it's where the treaty was signed. Actually,
Interesting thing is that lady is there, was telling what we were just talking about. So they must offer tours. If you get tired of Universal City, which is right over there, you can just cross the street and get some history. And honestly, it's just I totally forgot where I was because I was opening my map. I totally forgot what I was saying. Anyway, honestly, you can get some good history, and then also from that subway station, they have a lot of history there too. So I'm going to start this off by going in the right direction, which is the way I was going. Sorry, I added Campo Cahuenga to the tour later because I figured we were going to be walking by that, and I wanted to point it out. So you can see that we are in TV territory. So NBC, or Comcast Universal as it is now called, their offices are right there. NBC Entertainment is all over here. We are on Lancashire Boulevard. So if we think about this at all from a historical perspective, not like American historical perspective, the silent movie industry and the movie industry was really built up in Hollywood. When TV came along, people were kind of out here, although some of the celebrities that lived out here, Bob Hope, whose house we'll walk by, hopefully, if I don't get lost, Bing Crosby, all kind of moved out here, but also studios. Universal is here. This is the oldest working Hollywood studio. They'll tell you that on their tour. We're about to cross Jimmy Stewart Avenue. So bear with me while we walk the industrial part. The valley is, for those of you who don't know, lovely, really well kept. It's got some great vintage pockets, but it's actually kind of stretched out a little more than LA. Oh, awesome. I'm checking my directions to make sure that we're on the right track. In 45 minutes, this phone starts up. Okay. I never, ever, 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 ever walk this way. So I will definitely have to keep checking the directions. So coming up here on the left and the right is the lovely LA River. Let's check out all the boaters and kayakers that are out today. We'll turn to there in a second. None. Although that little water ditch might be a nice ride. The Brady Bunch's house is in there somewhere. Like just over there, because it backs up. Their backyard is the LA River. If I had another iPhone instead of a Nokia phone, I would be able to look stuff up like that on the fly. It takes forever for this phone to start up. I really did get a cheap extra phone. So maybe next year. So every time I go on or I put a post up, it doesn't let me like let's say I got there early, it won't let me go back in time. It'll only let me push it forward. So today I maybe overshot my how long it was going to take me to get here, or undershot it by like a couple minutes, but I really got here on time. And so now I'm starting half an hour early, which, sorry about that. You didn't miss anything, just the Campo de Cahuenga. So yesterday on the walk we did cult castles, and the cultiest part was going to be in the walking bonus, if you will. But my signal died, so I'm going to go tape that Monday morning and post that. So we had a super thanks goal. We made it. Thank you guys so much. And then I tanked because we went down to 100 kbps. So you'll notice in the valley, the streets are wider. There's lots of little pockets that happen like this. Hey Brandon, happy Saturday. We are in the valley, dude. So, you guys usually ask where you're gonna see celebrities. You're probably more likely to see them here. I'm not looking for them, but feel free and let me know what you see. Waffles. Burgers and Bridgestone, which reminds me I need to get new tires. Hey Brandon, not much now, but after I get off I might be celebrating. I tried to look for fun Earth Day stuff to do for today. The only thing I could find was an Easter nug hunt, which probably wouldn't be appropriate for YouTube, or like children's activities. And since I don't have a child, I guess it feels weird to go and tape children doing activities, so I decided no. And I decided to start in Toluca Lake in the valley. So we're walking to Riverside Drive. God, I hope I'm going the right direction. I can always check on my side phone. Anything going on for anybody else on this fabulous 420? I almost feel like the temperature got 10 degrees hotter here. Oh, I'm heading towards Riverside. I kind of feel like I went the wrong way, actually. So I'm probably gonna have to take a right up here. Uh, if not, we'll just go test drive a BMW. They won't. They're not. They're never nice to me in the BMW store. It's really not true. I always get used cars. I think that's the starter when I go buy a car. And then I always come with pre-approved loan, which means they can't wrangle me into one of their loans or I really resist it. But time before I went to buy a car, I was pre-approved. They made me spend like 3 hours in the Beverly Hills BMW. I shouldn't have gone to that one. And they were also kept calling me, and then they would tell me, oh, the car's gone. But like I literally went somewhere and bought a car in an hour the next day. Same car. I thought about getting another used one when I got my car last time, but I kind of thought so. I like literally, LA Unknown, I kind of thought so, but I don't know why I keep saying that. I literally only drive this way. That's why I was saying that. I almost never have walked through the valley, except for on Van Nuys. I one time went to a party in the hills over there. It's a bad story, actually. I went to a party in the hills over there, and the person I was with was super belligerent. And I just can't stand that shit. So I got out of the car and walked the rest of the way home. Every time I see a TikTok about Dollar Tree and like mini muffins for $1.50 or soda for $2, I kind of think about how I'd rather pay $4 and know that the employees are treated better. There's so many exposés on the Dollar Tree and Dollar General employees. It would make me not want to shop there. There's a very large mini dealer. We are in Universal City. We haven't gotten to Toluca Lake yet. Hey, Ty, welcome. Welcome to the valley, girl. I should have wore shorts. I will admit it was 62 where I was at home with my puppies. And here, let's see what the temperature is. 72, so a whole 10 degrees. 72 is, if I'm walking, I can wear shorts. Toluca Lake is the beginning of the valley. It's the valley heart, valley gate. It is super sunshiny. So again, there's another couple cute restaurants over here, and then nothing for a little bit. I've definitely driven down Moore Park before, which is this street coming up ahead. And this church is pretty awesome. They're having an Easter vigil tomorrow. Happy Easter if it's your thing. I kind of just like Easter in the pagan sense, I suppose. Grocery shopping. You use the word grocery? I'm just kidding. I'm jealous. I haven't gone grocery shopping to do like a full bang out in a while. But I don't know if we're gonna make any Easter deliciousness tomorrow. I'm sure we will. I'm feeling really macaroni and cheesy lately with this weather. This is St. Charles Borromeo Church, built in 1959. Exquisite. It looks like it's from many years earlier. Like, let's go in. I'm kidding, I don't think we can go in. This isn't Europe. We're gonna go back to Lankershim Boulevard. St. Charles Borromeo, 1959. I bet they got all the hardware to make it at Rick's Hardware Company right across the street. Also looks like it's from 1959. And a couple more fun looks at this guy. And I kind of missed my opportunity to cross. There's Ernie's Taco House. Family restaurant, food to go, and cocktails. So, we are, just for the record, if you want to drop a pin, if you want me to drop a pin, we are in Bob and Dolores Hope Square. So, Bob Hope practically owned Toluca Lake, which I think we're still in Universal City. Let's kind of back up, look at that church though. It is expansive. Probably was a school at one time because the building is almost the whole block. With parking across the street. And a beautiful Our Lady of Hope shrine right there. I love religious stuff, although I'm not myself. I grew up in a very Catholic town. So there were churches and statues and giant Virgin Marys everywhere, and graveyards. Well, that was an unexpected treasure to find. And we got a cigar bar. Graffiti, tattoos, and tanning, because we are in California. Okay, hold up. What is this? I thought the last bookstore was downtown. I haven't seen any red Corvettes, roach clips, or feathered hair yet. I think, to be honest with you, the valley, for me, is the most California. Like, has the most, like, California that I remember. Oh, it must be I never knew this was a chain. If you guys see any red Corvettes, let me know. I'm looking for like a Dayglow green or like a Cobra. Remember the Cobra, the Ford Cobra, I think? In Dayglow green. I think one of the original OG Charlie's Angels drove that. Probably Farrah Fawcett. Who else would drive a Dayglow green Cobra? We usually go to Malibu on Easter because the traffic is usually pretty great. I think this year, though, you know, we're gonna stream from somewhere on Easter, but I don't think we'll go to Malibu. So, here's my first turn. I'm gonna just check my my route to make sure we don't miss anything, or I don't turn into the wrong direction. And we'll take a chance. Well, it's one of the days I always stream, so I figured I could do it. And also, I don't really celebrate Easter in any religious sense. So, hey, how are you? I'm doing all right. So, I just try to make a day of it. It's always been a day off for me somehow, even when I've worked retail. I don't know, I thought that would say something more cool. So now I want to be heading down in numbers. We're going from 10,000 to 1,000. I'm heading towards the 134. I almost feel like this is the wrong direction, but my map, I'm just going to double check. I feel like this is more choose your own adventure than normal. Okay, at Riverside Drive, turn left, west. We're going west. So we just got a little bit of a long walk. So 1001 Riverside Drive is what we're looking for. I'm going to keep my eye on the numbers. We started at McDonald's, which was 10,000. 10,101, I think. Hope we're going down. Hey, Simply Sonora, happy Saturday. I almost said Sunday. I wish you a happy Sunday, too. In case we don't connect. So now I'm at 10918, 10916. We're going in the right direction, heading towards 1001 Riverside Drive, Toluca Lake, California. Woo! A real huge dip in the sidewalk. I kind of felt that in my back. These are huge sidewalks. I think we were talking, Kasepi mentioned the sidewalks yesterday. No, maybe I am going the wrong direction. I mean, this does not feel like the right direction for me. Let me just double check that. All right.
Head east on Riverside Drive.
We're going. Okay, I'm supposed to be walking away from the direction we're walking in. And you know what? If we get lost and we never see any of this stuff, it'll be fun. I feel bad that I'm walking. Okay. All right. I think I'm good. We're obviously in a little bit of an industrial area. Let me get back to my text messages. There we go. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm never out here. It is actually, I should have taken a right instead of left. Our goal, really, and I'm so stupid, is almost that tall white building that you can see over there. When I first moved here, I stayed in the valley a couple times with some friends. I didn't bring a car out here, so I thought it would be really cool if I stayed with them, because I was staying in the Inland Empire for a bit before I bought a car and was using the people I stayed with extra car. Extra car? Fun. Very generous of them. But I would sometimes take the train and stay in the valley for a couple days and then get dropped off at that train station that we were just at. It didn't feel good in the pit of my stomach. Unknown. I drive down Lancashire all the time. I also take Riverside all the time. So it felt wrong. Yep, the North Hollywood train. I didn't take the North Hollywood train station or get off there. I got off at Universal. So now we're in Toluca Lake. I think I have been here before. I think it might have had a California pizza kitchen in it at one time. Or something like that. I came like 20 years ago when I first moved here. Okay, if you guys love Chipotle, you should try Baja Fresh. I love Torrance. It's like the safest city in the South Bay because that's where all of the retired police officers move. CPK is totally like having some new commercial right now where they're celebrating their 40th anniversary with, I don't know that blonde lady's name, something, one of the Phillipses. I find her kind of irritating personality. Busy Phillips, maybe? She also said some things I didn't care for. We love Redondo Beach and Manhattan Beach, but Torrance is really a safe city. It's also pretty vintage. It's got a lot of like ranch homes from the 50s, cute little lawns. There I am standing straight in front of the spinal doctor. So for those of you who were on yesterday, before Tuesday, I will put up this part of the walk that I couldn't get to. Not for, it'll be a public video. It won't be members only. Also, we'll be putting up a members only video on Tuesday. Or two, maybe a couple shorts this week. I do want to take a second. Hey, Tecate time, happy Saturday. I'm in the valley, Toluca Lake. I want to take a second to get some space to me, myself, and these guys, and just say to all of our members, I really appreciate the support, and we really love to thank you. So thank you so much. Definitely try to provide extra content, emojis, you name it. There is a special members emoji for today. Totally Toluca Lake, or that area, so to speak. Feel free to use it. This is the best, I don't know what smells good in here, but it is probably, it's the sushi stop. It smells, or no, it's Thai. It's Thai. Thai smells great. I meant the Thai restaurant, Thai. It's so, I keep mentioning that the valley is so like spread out. Like we're gonna see cool things, but over the course of a longer walk probably. We're gonna walk until my camera dies. By camera I mean phone. I wonder what the history behind that cool house is. Can I get closer? Maybe I should stop getting close because there's like a weird white van parked. And you know white vans. I love Thai food. But I said it smelled like Thai, and I wanted to make sure that people knew that I meant food and not you. So, actually, what's really crazy is in October, this place has like a pumpkin thing. I don't know, a pumpkin stand. Or maybe somebody lives there year round, but it wasn't the Instagram pumpkin stand I was looking for. I'm not gonna diss it because people probably love it and it's a local haunt, but I drove all the way, because I wasn't going to take a pumpkin home on the train. Can you imagine that? One time I brought a bamboo plant home on the train. I covered it with a clear plastic trash bag, and it just looked like a weed plant. And this was in Boston, and weed was not legal at the time. People were giving me looks. We don't see a lot of bamboo in New England, or marijuana plants. The little spot is chained up year-round, but they don't sell pumpkins year-round. I guess it's part of this florist, which has been around since 1946. I feel like a lot of people moved here in the 50s, 60s, and then also in the 70s and 80s. So I feel like the valley is a little better kept up than Los Angeles proper. I mean, this is where everybody went to. I feel like the world doesn't get shocked anymore either. How can we? I mean, don't try it. I probably can get shocked. I saw a guy eating chicken McNuggets on the subway here, and I was kind of shocked, actually. Mostly because, I mean, not judging, but mostly because he put the sauce packet on the seat, the nuggets also on the seat, and then was just kind of dipping into, I'm doing it with my hands, but kind of dipping into the sauce, and pardon me, at any moment that sauce could have just spilled. And it would have been a terrible mess for the next person. There's no sidewalk here. Sorry, I'm not trying to do that. But we're gonna make it work. I should do a walk where I start on Riverside Drive and walk all the way to Silver Lake on it. That's how I used to drive home to Silver Lake on Riverside. From the valley, I mean. This is so, I almost walked up on their lawn. This is so valley looking. No, I don't mind eating on the train. I don't care if somebody eats on the train, but the sauce packet on the seat to dip into. Like, what if you're not looking and you missed and you just dip your nugget on the seat? Just doesn't seem hygienic. Oh my gosh, I do something weird with a burrito. So I get the Rojas sauce, and then I take a bite, I drip the sauce, I take a bite, I drip the salsa, salsa. I make sure to use every drop, and every bite gets salsa. I had a burrito for dinner last night. I know we were talking about Mexican food. Somebody brought up tacos. By the time Joe got back from the studio, neither one of us wanted to cook. Kind of the way of life. And so we got burritos, which fortunately enough we could get burritos on almost every corner that we hit. My favorite thing about this directions is it told me that the directions to the next spot that we're going was 4 miles away, and they're really not. It's not that far. Like, unless I'm just hitting it from a different area, we're about to start. I kind of like the condos in the valley better. They tried to blend them a little bit and make them, well, the ones I'm looking at, somewhat like houses, you know? Toluca Lake. Right, that's why I always tell you, Rojas, 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 and you tell me to stop saying it. I don't want to get hit by a car, but I don't want to wait in the sun. I did not use sunblock today. I am wearing pants though, and a hat. I'm wearing my Walking in LA hat. By the way, I made a Toluca Lake hat and a Toluca Lake t-shirt. I'll put that up for 7 days. It's golf themed, very golfy here. We usually get our burritos from a truck, food truck, and they actually let you, we get salsa verde too, but they actually let you scoop the salsa out for yourself at the one particular place that we go to. So we always grab a bunch of little packets. I think the place that Joe went to last night is our old-timey place that we've been going to for 100 years. I'm gonna cross the street again. Hopefully, Toluca Lake is not my last walk. Okay. So something I like, I think I like a taco better than a burrito, to be honest with you. I can eat 5 tacos and I feel satiated. I can eat 4 tacos and I kind of feel satiated also. Sometimes just 3 and I feel like full. But when I eat, right, this is really cute, sweet little condos. When I eat a whole burrito, and I'd never like to leave any burrito left over, I feel really bloaty. I think the difference is the rice. Uh-oh. Annual old-fashioned pancake breakfast and fundraiser this Saturday before Mother's Day. Maybe we should come to that. Let me know in the comments. I guess it supports the fire station. I don't really think I would go to that, by the way, in live stream. But I could take some pictures. I feel like I had a friend that lived in one of these, but there are so many Tudor style apartment buildings here. I've never heard of Alberto's before. I go to a place sometime on Sunset. It's a restaurant. It's got an orange sign and a donkey. Dos burritos, dos something. I've been going there for a long time and I don't know why. I can't remember the name of it right now, senile. And I think I do have a video where the restaurant is the first shot, so I think it might be the thumbnail. But we've been going there for a while. Every time I go there, we sit outside, bring dogs. The food is a little more expensive than I want it to be. But I've seen Kristen Stewart there, maybe twice, and someone else less memorable. I, of course, didn't recognize Kristen Stewart. The friend that I was with recognized her. No, I saw Kristen Stewart at Chateau Lanes also. I don't know why I like her, but I'm unable to recognize her. I love carne asada. I also really love a vegetarian taco. Grilled onions, peppers, marinated maybe in some garlic. A breath maker, a real breath maker. So here's a little villagey block. Again, I'm probably going to do all my valley walking in the next couple months because it is always so much hotter over here. I haven't checked the address for a while, but I think we're good. Oh my gosh, how cool is this? Somebody's selling some flowers here. Hey, beautiful, out of an Airstream. How cool is that? Don't forget your Easter blossoms. I almost felt like I was crossing the street when I shouldn't have. If we weren't walking 3.8 miles, I might get some flowers. So, again, cute little villagey shops. And like, just a block up at our neighborhood. So, these are all local hotspots. I think rice really makes me bloated. More so than I've ever thought in the past. I almost feel less so after like spaghetti. Well, I never eat spaghetti, but pasta versus rice. Yeah, it was really cute. We're at Telafa, Trader Joe's. I love the smell of the flowers, but it smells a little like a funeral. Because the lilies, I think. Oh my gosh, there are restaurants I haven't seen forever. Sharky's? I didn't even know that was still in business. Oh, a soft serve. It's too early for soft serve on the walk. I'm never gonna stop eating rice. My big wonder is, how the hell am I going to get home from here? I'm going to have to walk back to the metro station. Fun. Maybe I can walk back by this ice cream place. So we'll cross the street here, because there's Patty's. This is a pretty cute little run. I've eaten at all of these restaurants. I usually will get a grilled cheese and fries because you can't really screw that up. I think I might have had a patty melt. Another breath maker. You know what? I can just walk us back from there and just keep streaming. So you might recognize that mountain. Right below that is Warner Brothers Studios, which we are going to walk by. Actually, I figured it out, Ty. I just walk back to Cahuenga, and then it's like a mile to the train station. So we'll walk up Cahuenga at the end of this. Hey, Mary. If I missed anybody, welcome. If you guys are new here, please drop a like, maybe subscribe. And if you do subscribe, give us a good old chat because we are friendly. And we're glad you're here. Okay. This is Patty's restaurant. So this is definitely an old school Hollywood writer vibe kind of place. They have like standard stuff. It's been around since the 50s. We're really close to also Warner Brothers and NBC, so it's just a quick car hop to get here. And by quick, I mean maybe a mile, so a 20-minute drive. And then you gotta park. They do have parking, and I think I've parked in there a lot before. So I'm gonna cross here. That's where we want to go. So we're gonna walk back to Clybourne. But I want to stop at the famous Big Boy. Actually, are we gonna walk down Clybourne? I'll take that back for 1 second. We might walk to the Toluca Lake. I don't have it on here. But since it's so close-ish, swipe to open. I hate this phone. That's gonna be my next emoji. I hate this phone. Hey, West Coast. So a couple years ago, we had this restaurant chain called Umami Burger. And this Sweet Greens over here, I think, was Umami Burger. And before that, I'm sure I have a picture of it, it was just a dilapidated hot dog stand. So I'll see if I can find those pictures on my phone. I think actually the whole entire building is new. It looked like a hot dog stand drive-up thing from the 50s or something. I loved Umami Burger too. I used to love to go to the Umami Burger that was on Cahuenga, where the Urban Outfitters was. There was a cool little plaza there for a while. With an awesome bookstore. And also I would go to the one on Sunset. I feel like we saw someone eating there, Joe and I, one night. So when you think drive-through restaurant or drive-up restaurant, I think California. I still go to Sweet Green. I love their Thai steak salad. I used to go to Veggie Grill all the time when when the Cinerama Dome was opened. Hey MC, happy Saturday. We are in Toluca Lake. So another old-timey coffee shop right here. Which has been taken over. I think that used to be Priscilla's. I wish there was a car show here today. I've got 6 seconds to cross the street. Hopefully nobody has cut the big boy's head off or anything like that. Hey, Gridley. Whoa, and that's the curb, but there it is. Let's see if we see any big boys. Come on, you can use your emoji if you want to. He's big, he's got a bird, and he's copywritten, so. I say big boy. I mean Toluca Lake. So we're gonna walk around back. I highly recommend eating here. The food, you know, good diner food. These are a little newer, I think, from the 2005s, but they still kind of look retro. So these were all over. I guess this would be a car hop. Hey Gridley, I agree. It requires me eating very healthy and then splurging every once in a while. Last night my splurge was a yogurt shake with blueberries, strawberries, oat milk. I wish they had like a old-timey car show here today. But here's where you would park, and then I guess people would roller skate out to you. We're gonna do a complete 360 and check it out. Almost like Arnold's Drive-In on Happy Days. They do not have a drive-through, but they have a, I guess that would be the serving window. Hey Sharon, happy Saturday. You know, Gridley, I walk probably an average of 10 to 11 miles every day. I only started doing it, I guess got up to the 10 or 11 miles. I think I was at 8 last year, according to my Apple Watch. In the past 4 months, I monitor all of those. I love a club sandwich too. I monitor all of the measurables, and I see a doctor every 6 months. And my heart, everything improved in the past year, including our past 8 months, including I lost about 10 pounds since I upped it from 8 to 10 miles. Not intentionally. I felt like I didn't need to lose 10 pounds. But I kind of love it. It's working for me. So there's Priscilla's. Thankfully, it didn't turn into something. That is also an old establishment. So this is like Hollywood Junior, right? This is where all the TV stuff happened. You know, walking 3 miles a week probably is healthy. It's better than walking no miles a week. I think also, I go through periods where it isn't, actually, I haven't for a while, but I went through periods of time where I could not walk comfortably at all. I thought I had a sciatic nerve problem a while ago, but it kind of went away by doing physical therapy. So I think there are a lot of other things you can do besides walk. Lifting weights just to keep your arms, a lot of stretches. I do a lot of stretches. Pretend Pilates, I call it. I'm really excited. I only made one wrong turn. This is the kookiest intersection ever to cross, and I love the spring. The smell of spring on the East Coast, a totally different experience. And the earth warms up and you can smell I don't know, the autumn autumn leaves from the previous autumn sort of breaking down. I wanted to use a more romantic word, but we'll go with breaking down. How was the Warner Brothers tour? I thought about doing that. Or the Paramount one, 'cause that's so close. Terrible connections in Paramount though, in that Melrose area. Have you ever done, how does it compare to the Universal tour? Because I've never done that. It's a very good dog. Doing his very best, or her very best, their very best. So we have 90 days, or not anymore, before those tariffs kick in. If they kick in. Interesting time. Hey Cliff, how's it going? I saw Laura Dern in Gelson's once. And what's Angelina Jolie's dad's name? Crazy. I saw him. Is it John Voight? I don't want to get it wrong, but her dad, crazy. So still Toluca Lake. Cute little shops over here. We're heading towards Warner Brothers. John Voight, yeah. Crazy. And I'm not talking politics. I'm talking personal experience. And not in a good way. I could definitely tell some stories about people being crazy in a hilarious way. This is like a rage way. So the valley also has some of the coolest vintage drive-in hotels. Like this guy over here, the Tangerine. It wasn't originally the Tangerine, but sometimes when you put lipstick on a pig, the pig looks really good. I don't know if anybody's ever stayed at the Ace Hotel. Hey, sorry if I missed ya. Hey, Selena. Hope I pronounced that right. Welcome. So the Ace Hotel in Palm Springs was an old Howard Johnson's, but it's so chic. This kind of looks like a similar kind of vibe, and they've got a pool. So thank you, welcome. Thank you so much for saying hi. I did make a Toluca Lake t-shirt and hat. They are available in the shop for a week. I'm gonna just get rid of them. But I stuck that in there. There's a discount if you want any merchandise to buy yourself something. I'll let you read that for one more second and get rid of it, and we'll stop doing that for today. Celine, sorry. The font is really tiny, and I thought I saw an accent. Pancakes 2025. So in addition to really cool old hotels, which we probably, motor hotels that we probably won't see very many of, stuff like this doesn't get touched either. Pure California. I-134 freeway we're going to cross over in a second. The building itself is not so sexy, but just the sign and the fact that it's there and it's probably closed and will be torn down soon. The last time I went by here, it was open. I wonder how much of it, now it looks like the Spawn Ranch, I wonder how much of it has to do with production being down 22%, probably on television and movies in the city of Los Angeles. All right, before these guys tear this down, I think that would make a pretty cool t-shirt, so let me try to frame that, sorry. That on the front. And this guy on the back. I hear about it, I've heard about it on the news in the morning a couple times. I wonder how many times Jay Leno got his cars washed here. Why do I say Jay Leno? You'll find out in a second. Or Johnny Carson. This definitely had to exist since then. So right over there, Warner Brothers. We're gonna keep walking towards Olive Ave and turn there. I should probably push this button. I'm enjoying some shade right now. NBC should be straight ahead, and that's where they did all of the, like the Tonight Show. They used to film Ellen here. I brought some sage. So we are now walking into Burbank. Which Johnny Carson once called the middle of nowhere. And Jay Leno with one of his classic cars. This is before he was falling down hills and stuff. It's crazy because if something happens to Jay Leno, and I don't think this is true anywhere else in the country, but it like literally is daily news. As he's healing, what happened, what they suspect, it is daily news. A Jay Leno happening. He's beloved. I don't think I ever really loved Jay Leno that much. I used to have a friend that lived in the Valley, and they would come hang out with me in Hollywood, and I would take Cahuenga, and then I would turn left on Barham, which we are also going to walk on, and then drive to wherever they lived in Burbank. And one night, it was pretty late, like 1:30 in the morning, and I was driving my friend home, and all the cars had to be pulled over because on the other side of the street, they were towing a giant fuselage of a plane that had crashed. So I'm thinking, oh my God, blah, 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 plane crashed. They didn't tell us about it. Nah, nah, nah. Conspiracy. No, it was just a prop. They were bringing it to Warner Brothers. Oh, thanks, Sharon. You can always tell me to stop and turn around. I am a little bit, you guys are on a little bit of a delay. I hope Los Angeles does something to stay the entertainment capital of the world. I mean, if you think about what it takes to create something, all of this isn't really necessary anymore. Sound stages and sets and whatnot. We're gonna go right up to the studio, but I don't have permission to film there. And then because it is so beautiful and Earth Day, I think I'm going to plug in my camera. Sorry, we're gonna get a little charge right now. I think I might walk back to Toluca Lake. Let's hope be elusive. I'm working on it. Simply Sonora. I probably could, never mind. They're letting all kinds of YouTube journalists into the White House press briefing room now. Maybe I could get a pass. There are drive-in movie theaters in California. A kind of joke was that Joe mentioned, Joe's in practice today. Also, I feel really, the only thing that can happen to me here is I'm gonna get lost. So there are 2 drive-in movie theaters near us. They don't show always like first run movies, but sometimes they do. The one that we went to one a couple of years ago, actually, and I don't know why we've never gone back since. And it was really fun, but the screen wasn't dark enough for the screen yet. Yeah, because the weather is so great here, but people can create stuff in their homes. Take the music industry, for example. I could have a block wrong, but between Gower, where we walk all the time, and I'm gonna push it all the way to maybe Las Palmas, and because that's where the music school is, but that whole row used to be full of sound stages, studios for music. I saw 60 Feet from Stardom about backup singers, really great documentary, and Mary Clayton was my favorite person from that. Her voice is incredible, super 70s looking. So she sang backup for the Rolling Stones, and they go to those studios to record. Like the Beach Boys needed to go there to record. They're located outside of Los Angeles. They're definitely not in the city proper. It's really windy. I'm gonna turn my noise cancellation on. So I forget where they are. But the really lovely thing, and what I think has kept them in business, is during the daytime, they become flea markets. Joe, do you remember, I don't know if you're still on, but do you remember where we went to that, I feel like it was Santa Fe Springs, maybe? I'll find out for you. I think we saw a scary movie there, and it wasn't dark enough for us to get scared because you couldn't make out like the darkest parts of the screen, but it was still a really fun experience. Joe, do you remember where that drive-in that we went to was one time? So I'm going to turn up here to kind of go back to Warner Brothers Studios until they kind of kick me out of this area. And then we're going to go back to Olive. But I kind of wanted to walk to the end and go back through there. So really cool thing, freeway right over there. Where was the drive-in we went to, Joe? This becomes an equestrian community just around the corner. Like Santa Fe Springs or something like that. Sorry if I sound so irritated, I'm really not. Hey Jen, happy Saturday. We are sneaking onto the set of Friends. I'm joking. Maybe it's Paramount. I know it's somewhere I don't go very often though. So these studios kind of look exactly, I don't know how much of it we're going to see, but the buildings look exactly the way you imagine them from a 1920s or 30s movie. Not this one in particular. This is a parking garage, but coming up here where the studio probably starts. Well, the studio tour is here in this building. Right? I would love to live in that neighborhood. Until I stepped in a big steaming horse poop. I think I can turn the sound cancellation off. Or noise cancellation, sorry. This is Wonder Woman. It doesn't say which Wonder Woman it is, so I'm not sure if it's Linda Carter or Gal Gadot. Hey, Venman. The California weather misses you too. I'm willing to think that it's Gal Gadot. I prefer my Wonder Woman to be Linda Carter. A classic. I don't know really how close we can get, but you can kind of see some kind of crazy stuff. Facades over here. I would love to go horseback riding, actually. We are taking you behind the gates, and then my camera's falling off the gimbal, and I have to stop streaming. Joking. But, that was gate 5. It smells like a gas leak over here. Like, seriously, gas leak. She was definitely a Wonder Woman. Look at this cool building that people probably lived in in the olden days. Little sneaky starred. When were you a grip for WB? It's really cool. We're seeing the back of a lot of stuff. I don't know if they would let me go in there and stream, though. I'll try to look into it. I've written to a couple of places, museums. I've either got no response or we wouldn't be into that. Yeah, we're at Warner Brothers. So I kind of want to walk back at, we're going to walk back to Toluca Lake too, unless something dies. And I mean, you know, a battery. So they're watching me. I feel almost like I could pop my camera over the fence, a la I Love Lucy. That must have been the time to be here. A great time to be over here. I wonder what secrets the massage therapist knows. And I'm sure they're professional and so they didn't spill any. Unlike my John Voight's secret. Which I was happy to tell you. So we're stepping out onto Olive. We're gonna walk up the other side of Warner Brothers. We'll see the big posters for the TV shows. But I bet they have some stories. Chiropractor or massage therapist. Massage therapist maybe more. I feel like you get into more trouble when you're only wearing a towel, or when your client is only wearing a towel. I only went to a chiropractor once, and it was like in a big room full of other people getting chiropracted, if that's a word. So gate 4, you know, I'd be a better tour guide if I could get into some of these places. But I try. So that's the mountain in the picture. I actually made a composite. The mountain isn't really where it looks like it is. You know, somewhere I have a gift certificate to Burke Williams that I never used. And in the state of California, a gift certificate can never expire. So somewhere in an email, I have that gift certificate. So again, this is a street I used to drive down all the time. And it seems so much shorter when you're driving. I'm lucky if I can find it. It was like, I've gotten a couple of really lovely gifts over the years when I've departed a job. And one of them was cooking lessons that I lost the gift certificate to immediately. They thought I liked to cook. And the other one was that Burke Williams Spa Day gift certificate. I'll find it one day. So we're in the valley. When I left it was 62. It is now 70 something, 72 in Burbank. And a really beautiful breeze. I cannot turn on the weather thing because I think the weather thing is for downtown. But let's see what the temperature downtown is. I can turn it on, So what's the temperature downtown? It is 74. It actually feels like it's like 79 here. I know, I could have wore shorts today. I'm regretting not having shorts on a little bit. So this is just crazy. This is part of the studio. The windows are right up to the sidewalk. Like, what just to prevent people from just breaking onto the set to see Bing Crosby. Oh, 83. But how do you like it 83 degrees? Uh, 83 is out of my comfort zone. I think 79 I start to get hot. Below 72 I'm cold. So I'm gonna peek through the gate again. Not as well known as Paramount, of course, but just as prestigious. The Warner Brothers Studios. And so you know what? We did miss the NBC entrance for here because they did take the sign down. So this might have been where it was, actually. So this might have been where the talk show people would come in. I don't think so, because it's just an entrance. Yeah, it said 72 on my watch. I'm in Burbank by Warner Brothers. So the building we started this walk off at, because we have kind of done a circle here, we haven't completed the circle yet, is that one. The big black building sticking up over there. That is Comcast Universal. That's where we started our walk. That will be my goal to get back to there, but we're gonna go to the lake first. So after we see the front of the studio, I'm gonna cross the street. 11 degrees Celsius, right? Or Fahrenheit? I'm hoping it's not Celsius. Although I guess that wouldn't be that bad. The Burbank airport is on the other side of this building over there. If you ever fly into LA, try to fly into Burbank. I say this all the time, but it's literally like flying in the 70s. The airport is called Bob Hope Airport. Bob Hope International. So here's the big sound stage. I think that might have been Cecilia or BD. They definitely gifted some memberships. And there was one other gentleman who I've not seen in a while that gifted a couple of memberships also. Also, the parking is cheaper. So we are gonna cross the street and walk in the shade because you're gonna not be able to see any of these posters. They are so huge. I feel like I definitely know Cecilia did. I thought that you had, but there was another fella that gave away 2 memberships, which is just a lovely thing to do. I really am trying to provide good, constant content, even though it's not the glossiest stuff I could do. But it will get better, and it will be a little more in-depth later. Because I like to say podcast a lot, and I've mentioned podcasts before, but I have been working on some stuff when I thought I was going to do this is Gate 2. A Patreon, which still could happen. So I prepared stuff for that. I always like to have kind of stuff ready to go. And the more members, the better. And I really love to thank my members. So I want to do that right now while I wait for this street, while I wait to cross the street. We'll do that. We'll add some fireworks to keep the party going, or confetti. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Confetti. Fireworks. I really do appreciate you guys being here. So at the top of the hill over here is Cahuenga. There's a really weird condo complex over there called, I think it's called the Oaks, which is usually full of people that are trying out for stuff. Like it's a furnished condo place, like temporary kind of housing. How cute is that? Monster. I always wondered about it and then I looked it up. We'll see. I like to make sure things are on the up and up and quality before I start charging people for things, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. But there are a lot of podcasts out there. What am I providing that somebody else? Well, I know what I'm providing that someone else isn't. But how many people are interested, seriously, in the topic? Or the topics? You really want to hear about the Cecil Hotel for 15 minutes? I might. I did. Or you really want to hear why Skid Row is so messed up? I did. My problem with that is that I would probably do a video podcast, which would be great. The editing, and if I did that, I probably would appear in it also, but the editing would probably take me a little bit of time. We're walking back the way that we walked. We're going to go down Clybourne to find Toluca Lake. I'm also really good at saying, I wish we could have walked a little further. There are really some cute apartment complex signs around here. Like luxury apartments. Actually, or the Starlet. It's got a pool or a full bladder. Actually, it's got a Starlet. I'm gonna blur that out. I think this one though, hold on, I gotta switch my camera back. This one used to be called Melody, and it had like a little treble clef on it. Now it's called Zello. Jen, go make dinner. It did look like a bladder. It didn't look like a kidney-shaped pool. It looked like a bladder. Rewind, you can now. Uh-oh, Weirdos. I wonder what that is. A pizza place? Have a great weekend, Jen. Make sure you enjoy some relaxation. And happy Easter, if you Easter. So when I was talking about how they make the valley like condos look a little more housey, this is really what I referred to. The minute I said that, we were looking at stuff that didn't look quite that way. This looks like a 50s neighborhood, atomic age. But most of those are multiple family units. I don't know what the rent is here, but it is also not inexpensive. So I did turn on my watch today. We are at 3 3/4 miles since we started. I might have started it late. And in the olden days, this was a short drive to Hollywood. Now you just get backed up on Olive till you hit Cahuenga, and then you get backed up on Cahuenga, rides by the Hollywood Bowl, and then you know that intersection where Franklin and Cahuenga meet. I always cross that and on the live stream, and we're there for 20 minutes. Imagine being in a car. And then the Hollywood and Highland. It's just a cluster F way to go. I never drive down Cahuenga into Hollywood. I usually turn left on the Pilgrim's Bridge. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I call it. I'm used to be really obsessed with my watch and monitoring every aspect of my weight, blood pressure, heartbeat, HRV rate. Now I look at it maybe every other day. But I really, 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 really love the fact that since I started walking, it's improving, so I'm really never disappointed. But I love the fact that it's there to kind of warn you. I love the Spanish ones too. I love Spanish-looking stuff, especially because I didn't grow up here, and it's kind of alien to me, like the desert. So we're gonna walk back by Priscilla's. I also like these kind of things. I don't really like the door, but I like these little square things. The courtyard apartments. The only thing is I hate sharing a wall with someone. I lived in a bungalow for a while when I first moved here. It was like a craftsman bungalow, not one of the stucco ones. We were near Desilu, I guess, but it was whatever that studio was. Those were the houses set up for those workers. The only time I ever saw stucco outside of California was on a condo complex in New Hampshire. I don't always love stucco. You guys, I crossed the street and forgot to show you the posters. You didn't miss much. I ended up walking down the other street. So there's Bob's Big Boy. There are some really beautiful cottages in Hollywood. I can't remember exactly what street we're on, but we've walked by them before. They're behind a fence, and they're like little Dutch looking. This is the Gary Marshall Theater. Gary Marshall, Laverne and Shirley. I grew up in New Hampshire. And yes, I'm happy to answer. There's the big boy. I don't have a Boston accent though, except for a couple things. Like sometimes I'll say ka and pak. but I don't have the real Boston accent. I think I sound more Maine, which is odd. But I also never felt like I had an accent till I moved here. I feel like Bob's is the last thing I would want to eat today. But Veggie Grill or Sweet Greens. Actually, Veggie Grill is delicious, but it's like a fast food restaurant, just vegetarian. So I like their chicken sandwich, but I'm sure it is really not that healthy for you. Like some of the fake meat, it's actually is like a salt bomb. Thanks. I was psyched to see Gary Marshall too. So we're looking for Clyburn, which is one of the next streets. We're going to take a left. We're going to go see the lake that made Toluca. Okay, my top view would be Bob's for breakfast, but at dinner time. Or Bob's for lunch with a late afternoon nap. So just knowing the proximity, I mean, you can imagine people coming to these restaurants from the Warner Brothers studio and doing 50s and 60s stuff, like smoking cigarettes, Lucille Ball screaming at somebody. I mean, she filmed on the other side of town, but her specials were all filmed over there. I think Toluca Lake is like still really celebrity laden and really cool spot. I'm not yeah, I think breakfast for dinner is great. Sometimes like a French toast makes me want to nap. Or pancakes. Pancakes really tire me out. That's why I only had one plate. So Burbank is its own city. Toluca Lake is part of the city of Los Angeles, hence walking in LA. So I won't be putting this one in the... Oh, hey James Woods, welcome. What's in Cinema Secret? So this is Clyburn. How? We'll get as close to it as we can. But how cute is this street? Oh, Simply Sonora. I think this house is going to be pretty cool on the left. I see some... All right, so Leave It to Beaver looking, right? Maybe not exactly. I didn't grow up during Leave It to Beaver. Then we've got... Oh, I liked it better when I could only see the roof. That sounded Queenie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I like to have cereal sometimes as a snack in the nighttime. I almost never want to eat cereal for breakfast. We eat a lot of granola lately, I would say. Welcome to the Shire. Lots of different architectural types. Ooh, this is super cute. Anybody ever live with a house with vines on it? Like, you have extra bugs? I just kind of wonder about that. This also looks like a 1950s all decked out for Easter. Did you know this is going to be an Easter deco walk? So we're crossing Moore Park. We went over that a couple times. I'm hoping that when I get to the end of this, I'll just be able to go right. Wow. I'll be able to go right and find my way back. That's kind of cooler looking through the camera than it is in person. There's a neighborhood garage sale. My ultimate pet peeve is when people block the sidewalk like that. Just park in the street. I don't make my own granola, but every day I try to remember to look up a recipe. All right, quick trip to Palm Springs. Do you make granola? I love it. It really does look like something from Palm Springs. If my memory serves me, oh, maybe that's, yeah, I feel like Toluca Lake. No, never mind. My memory does not serve me. Huh. Palm Springs, 90 miles? Sometimes you can get there really quickly. Not this weekend, because it's Coachella. Curious, I don't understand the glass. Like if you were here for a week and wanted to go to LA and Palm Springs for a couple days, it's totally possible. Or LA and Santa Barbara, it's totally possible. You're just gonna really unalive a day with driving, or half a day. Oh, it's the Roper's house again. I'm kidding. I'm gonna look up the Roper's condo because I keep calling. I remember it having weird doors. I could be a little wrong about 90 minutes. 90 minutes to 2.5 hours, I would say. But if you hit it the right time of day and like check the traffic first, uh-oh. Coyotes seen in the area. I thought I was just too old for Coachella, but like, where's the excitement? Like, I feel like it used to be a huge thing, you know? There's Warner again. I guess we could have walked Warner down here. If you've never been to the desert, it's pretty magical. I know a lot of people use the word magical, but especially if you grew up on the East Coast, it just feels like an alien landscape. I kind of feel like this is the neighborhood I walked through for the Burbank horror houses. And we're in Toluca Lake. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of those videos, but I feel like I remember this steakhouse on the left. it's like a really untouched vintage neighborhood. Look at that pinky one. Well, maybe I just don't think the music that is playing is good. I know people love Lady Gaga. I tried to get into it. I feel like I heard it before. But again, maybe it's just not for me. I feel like they used to have like cool cutting edge bands there. And now it's mostly pop music. But I did see the Go-Go's, part of the Go-Go's. So that's Toluca Lake at the end there, private residence. I figured we could walk down the street. I know that Unknown mentioned that it was a private neighborhood, but I forgot that it was gated private neighborhood. So we're not gonna get into that. But we're gonna follow this street, look at some more cute houses. So maybe I'm not trying hard enough. I don't know what the new song Abracadabra is, but I don't really like it. Again, I mean, we run the gamut here from Spanish colonial to Leave It to Beaver Ranch to Spanish colonial to person walking a dog. Oh, good dog. Hi. Could never walk my dog off his leash that far. It's a very good puppy. I know you love the Chainsmokers. They're not really new though. Like, I like whatever song they had when they had that song. So if I actually were to walk in here, if the gate were open, it would be like one of those YouTube videos. This is not the Beverly Hillbillies house, but hi. It would be like one of those YouTube videos where they're screaming at somebody for fishing in public property. I'm gonna cross the street to get away from the lawnmower man. A little more, but a little more. Also, I think I have a broad sense, a broad taste in music. I could like country music, not really modern country music, but like old country standards. I love jazz. I love classical music. I love Missy Elliott. A lot. Oh my God, look at this cutie. American version. European version. All music is subjective. I feel like I would be so scared to drive such a tiny car. Or what's that other English car that like the front opens it up, the iSet or something? I think it was in the Tracy Ullman music video, and maybe another one, and I don't know why I remember that. So Chiquita and Toluca Lake Ave. I could very well get lost over here. Okay, that's the Roper's house. So if I walk on this parallel street, Joe, are you still there? Doesn't this remind you of the neighborhood that we walked through for Halloween houses? Gorgeous. That's right up there with riding a scooter. So I'm gonna conduct my feet to the shady side of the street. I'm not gonna walk on the grass. I feel like this is a more interesting way to walk. I kind of like the idea of a smart car, but it's really small. I'm not a small guy, I'm not a big guy either, but I just sometimes feel claustrophobic. I did have a newer Fiat for a while. I have to tell you, most embarrassing car I ever drove, but never a single problem. And I think my payment was like so cheap. I would never want to sit in that back seat. Sorry, I think we hit a little bubble, but we're back out of it. Or we're coming back out of it. We're just walking back to Riverside. I just would like to sit in that room and think about things. I prefer a 6-cylinder also. I have a 6-cylinder SUV. It has not very good pickup, though, I will say. My last car was electric, and the pickup was amazing. The crazy thing is, it was one pedal driving, and I still drive I feel bad for people behind me, but I still drive the gas car. It's actually a mild hybrid, whatever that means. I still drive that like the one pedal car. So to slow down, I just take my foot off the gas and don't press the brake to alert the person behind me. I have not been rear-ended yet. Maybe. There are a lot of these houses in Los Angeles also, but they are around La Brea neighborhood, and some of them are just tumbled down. Like the people who bought them in the 70s are now, I don't know, not unalived or maybe in a nursing home, and somebody's just waiting for them to pass so they can tear it down. When I lived in Silver Lake, the lady next door to me was a art teacher at a public school, and she bought the house in the 40s. By the time I moved there, it was like 2012 or 13 or 14, somewhere around there, 14 I think. She just had a nurse take care of her, and she would talk sometimes. And I feel like the next door neighbors were just waiting for her to go so they could grab that property and expand their footprint. And funny thing, they actually did. Okay, Moore Park. We could probably go left and walk down Moore Park. I think it might be slightly a little more fun. I think the houses will be, wow, a waterfall. Do you know the name of this lamp? Joseph, do you know the name of the lamp? We reviewed these lamps last week. We should know the names of every different type of street lamp that is in Los Angeles County at this point. I don't know the name of it either, I don't remember. There are a lot of homes decorated for Easter. I don't really see that in my neighborhood, and I think we have a pretty Catholic neighborhood I live in. There is one house that decorates for every holiday. I think they're the Lopez's, even St. Patrick's Day. So this is a much shadier walk than walking on Riverside. We're gonna cross the street. Somebody is probably calling the neighborhood watch program on me now. So in front of the DWP on Santa Monica Boulevard, let me rewind this. So you know there's that light fixture at the LACMA. I have a short where I show that light fixture, or installation, if you will. The original one was in a Rite Aid parking lot. It was much smaller, but it had all the different kind of street lamps from LA. And so when the Rite Aid closed, ooh, this looks like a mansion over here. When the Rite Aid closed, they just moved those street lamps, the series of street lamps, to in front of the DWP. And so you can see the street lamps and the names and where they're located, and we looked at that this week. Looks like kind of a plantation looking house. Oh gosh. So do you see that castle up there? Hold on, I'm gonna not get hit by a car. Let me get a little closer if I can. Our ultimate kind of destination, let's wait for the 100 Rivians to go by, is that castle right there. It's Harry Potter's castle. It's a beautiful home. It just looks a little southern. But I feel like in the 20s, 30s, 40s, they were kind of building houses. You can find Cape Cod houses here. You can just find people were building the houses they were familiar with. These are pretty gorgeous, actually. Hey Pam, happy Saturday. We are just walking through Toluca Lake. At least they can't hear Universal Studios. I'm sure that's really loud. Although nobody really lives close enough to hear it. And they don't do fireworks. Probably because they're tucked into the hills and it's dangerous. Yeah, that was Harry Potter's castle, for sure. I want to cross the street. There's of course no sidewalk over here on the shady side. Oof, smells like a 1,000-year-old cigarette. I wonder what's behind that. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, we might get a glimpse. Nope. No trespassing. Okay, so we'll wait for this Tacoma. We'll cross the street back into the sun. Riverside is over there. 134 is up there. We're kind of doing really good. I've never watched much Harry Potter movies. I was saying that earlier. I love the Harry Potter land at Universal because I love theme park stuff that is so detailed. Ooh, I can't cross the street again. Waiting in the line, oh, that's the back of the house anyway. Waiting in the line for Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, there's something to look at everywhere, whether it's the pens, the stuff on the desk, the movie that's playing. I feel like the Harry Potter world is it's really immersive. I feel like it's too late for me to backtrack and watch the Harry Potter movies, though. It's a lot of catching up to do. All right, we're gonna go back up to Riverside. I'm afraid I'm gonna end up somewhere where I'm a dead end again. My favorite book, look, this is a dead end. Hopefully I can jump over that bush and end up back on Riverside. My favorite series of books to read when I was a kid were by Jonathan Belair's, and it was called The House with the Clock in Its Walls. Happy Saturday. And they made a movie of it recently with Jack Black, but I have not watched it. It's when I've had that book in my head for like 30 years since I was a kid, right? 40 years since I was a kid. Maybe 30 years. 30 something. And so I kind of know what the characters are supposed to look like. And the characters do not look like that. I do love Jack Black, don't get me wrong. We should be back in the network in a second. Crazy looking. That's just in case you're still here. Not the Beverly Hills Witch House. But I'm not really sure. Sorry, you guys, I think I hit a little connection hiccup, or burp, if you will. We're going to take a left back on Riverside and make our way back to the train station. I will veer off probably just to keep it interesting. So I would like to remind you that I will post the cult part of the walk from yesterday's walk, not as a live stream, but just a video for everybody, because we kind of lost our connection. So I'll post the second half of that this week for sure, before Tuesday. Senora, we were not going to go to Harry Potter's castle. But yesterday when we took the walk, we had like a bonus challenge. And so the last half hour, the last little bit of the walk, we were supposed to walk up. Hi, puppy. It's a cutie. Really sweet little black lab. We were supposed to walk up, I almost said Beechwood. And unfortunately, the connection was like, so I'm gonna go tape it. Not tape it, you know what I mean. I'm gonna make a video of it and talk. So it'll be like a live stream, but it won't be live. Maybe I can put it on and chat with you guys while you're watching it. I haven't tried one of those yet. But if you do want to see that castle, I highly recommend. I put a Christmas at Hogwarts video up, and we go right up to that castle. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna jaywalk because it's too sunny. Punch buggy, no returns. You know they have no air conditioning. So as cute as you think that is, he's probably sweating more than me. But how cute is that, really? A beige car. I had a beige, oh my God, the front window opens up also. He's showing off. My mother had a car, a Volkswagen actually, Volkswagen thing where the front window you could fold down. I don't know why you wouldn't want a windscreen, but you could fold down the front window. It was a Volkswagen thing. Stupid car for New Hampshire, by the way. Not insulated. It was basically like a low Jeep. Convertible. Also, we're living in New Hampshire, not too smart. And I think we might have had a Volkswagen Beetle for a little bit also. Because I remember like a really weird tiny back seat. I forgot to say beige. I wasn't sure if it was beige or camel. That hurt, Ty. That really hurt. There are about 3 punch buggies in my neighborhood. They're all yellow, and they're all just in the worst condition. One of the people who owns one is one of my neighbors who doesn't watch this live stream. But they have 3 cars and 1 parking spot. And I feel like the guy is always moving these cars around and around and around and around. Not my business. I just always wonder why they keep the Beetle, because it's 1 inch away from being completely rusty. Sentimental value. At the end of this all, life, the stuff doesn't matter. Deep, huh? Yeah, they're forever like shuffling the cars around. I think they're, honestly, I don't know them that well. He says hello, sir, to me every day, which I really don't like. I don't like being called sir. Or madam, for that matter. So he says sir to me. And that's just something about the way he says it. Totally friendly, totally nice. Not really judging him, except I really am right now. But I always wonder, I think it's just him and his wife. They have kids, but they're younger, so the added expense of a 3rd car. I can barely afford 1 car. I'm walking somewhere where there's no sidewalk, and I hate it. Oh wow, this place dries up pretty fastly, quickly. Remember how busy it was when we walked by before? So the valley, one of the reasons why I probably never lived in the valley, other than the fact that it's kind of Los Angeles far from the things I know, is because in the summertime, this heat is unbearable. I can't even go to Pasadena, so I figured I'm going to try to do a couple valley stops before the official summer starts. Hey, Cecilia. Welcome. It's going pretty good. We just walked to Warner Brothers Studios. We're in Toluca Lake. We're looking at some vintage cafes. This Burbank area, it's kind of never really got updated, so it's a really nice vintage walk. Welcome. We were talking about you earlier. Someone thanked you for buying them a membership. And I'll be a monkey's uncle if I can remember who it was. Monica, maybe? Or Mary. So happy Saturday. It's lovely out here. It really is. I feel like it's safe, but agree with Simply Sonora, it's hot as hell. So we came down Riverside. Let's take Cahuenga back. It's parallel to Riverside. This way we're not duping our walk. I hope it's cute. I only ever drive down Cahuenga. It's a very busy street, so it's probably going to be more apartment-centric. So I don't know if you were here yet, Cecilia, but I mentioned that I'm going to be doing the cult part of my walk that we couldn't get to because of the signal, and posting that by Tuesday. One thing I was wondering is if maybe when I post it we could do a live chat at the same time instead of just the foursome, instead of just posting a video. So I could sit at home instead of walk and talk about the stuff that we're seeing. Give it a shot. I just figured out how to do that, so love that truck. And I worked on Beverly Drive in Beverly Hills. I've never worked on, and I actually worked on Beverly Boulevard. I did work in Sherman Oaks really early on when I got here, for maybe like 9 months, and I lived in Hollywood, like Hollywood and Fountain, just right around there. And so I would have to go east a mile just to get on a street to cross back into the valley. That wasn't like so congested I wanted to unalive myself. I've got to stop saying that. And then I worked in Culver City for a while and lived in East Hollywood, and that was a show to drive to also. I love that truck. Like, it just says, I'm gonna keep running till I hit 1,000,000 miles, although I really don't know how it sounds starting up. But like, I just love it. The name of which building? I missed it, sorry. Maybe. I don't know a lot about Karate Kid. This actually looks like Warner Brothers Studios again. This is the Michelle Manor Townhomes. There's an open house on Careen Court today. We can't walk that direction though, it's not the way we're going. I love this one holdout house. The original like 50s house surrounded by these. I'm glad we took, oh geez. I was gonna say I'm glad we took Cahuenga back because it's a little shorter and a lot shadier. But as I was saying that, I almost tripped. Boop, boop. Exactly. Or I have a part in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's also what that old truck says to me. I don't know what the deal is with this church, but I've driven by it so many times. It is like the quintessential church to me from like the 50s. I feel like it's been in movies before. It probably has not, but just I love when I accidentally take Whipple to Cahuenga and get to see this church. Gives me nostalgic vibes for a nostalgia I don't really know. Hey, Aaron. We have really been enjoying the Toluca walk. So we started at the Comcast building, walked all the way to Riverside, and then down to Olive, and we're kind of looping back around. I did take the train here today, the metro. Got off at the Universal Station, where you can go to Universal City or walk to Burbank. The rent is probably a little less expensive here, but we're still probably talking mid-2000s for a one-bedroom or a bachelor. And then also it really would depend on the building. I don't know why. It's just like classic church vibes it gives me. I'm not sure what this is up here, but I have a feeling it's gonna smell really good really soon while I walk in the street. Oh my gosh, Aaron, I'm happy to take you here. Another crazy sidewalk dip. I would just be doing laundry. Actually, I did my laundry last night if I wasn't doing this. We couldn't go to the lake because it's got a fence around it. It's a private neighborhood. So we got really close to it and then veered right. And that's when we were walking through the neighborhood with all the really beautiful giant houses. It is a lot of rent. We're talking apartment. To rent a house here, you are probably looking at starting at $4. Unless you find someone who puts their own sign up, like an old person renting their property, and which you can find stuff like that in LA. Sometimes if you just drive around a neighborhood, it is a gated community. If you drive around a neighborhood that you like, you will start to see signs. Not that anybody wants to live here or doesn't, but stuff like that. There's a for rent sign there. That apartment is probably going to be $500 to $250 less than you would find something on apartments.com or the apartment rental place. Watch it at 10 speed. I love watching them faster and hearing my voice that fast. Really relaxing. So it's a different kind of wealthy looking house, though. Those houses probably in their day, some of them were just like the really, especially like the 50s looking one, were probably like starter homes. And now they are over $1 million for a 50s ranch. And Cecilia, I was saying, like, that's the way you find cheaper apartments when the old lady or old man has lived there or has been renting these apartments out for a while. They're usually like when you're talking directly to them instead of going through rent.com. It's not what it's called, Westside Rentals. It's usually cheaper. Once they get internet savvy, they start looking around and seeing what other people are charging. Craigslist, I find the best deals, but also the most scams. There's always a house for rent somewhere that is $1,000. I haven't had a $1,000 rent since the 90s. And also, like, I had a friend that rented a house kind of Inglewood, maybe West Adams area. Not a great neighborhood, but it was a whole entire little tiny house for $500 a month, but he rented it from a church. Right, Mars? I've always had better luck driving or Craigslist. Remember looking for a job in the newspaper? The pain in the ass that was. Somewhere over there is the Brady Bunch house. We're gonna go see it. Not today. I can't walk there from here. But we'll do a maybe a members where we go see the Brady Bunch house. So we're looking at the back side of the Hollywood Hills, not the hill with the Hollywood sign on it, but this is Hollywood is on the other side of that. Universal is where you see the Sheraton up ahead and the Hilton, Sheraton Universal. I'm gonna cross so we can look at the LA River, see if there are any kayakers now. I have 14 seconds to do it, and I think I'm not gonna have a problem doing it. 8 seconds. 4 seconds. I was kind of hoping that that was like a staircase down. I've never been to or seen a Penny Saver. Is that a store or a newspaper? So there's the LA River. $1,600 is also really good. I've been in my apartment for 10 years, so for me, a lateral move from my apartment, which is not a great apartment, it's not horrible, but not I'm dying to move, like for 4 years. But because rent is so expensive, I'm gonna move to another exactly the same kind of apartment and pay $700 more. So up there is a sun-bleached Despicable Me thing, whatever those are called, Mignon. Universal City, up on the hill. I remember the first couple of apartments I had gotten in Boston, I actually went to an agency to get the apartment, and you had to also pay them like stupid percentage fee. So it is really right around here. In fact, let me go back to the river for a second. The Brady Bunch house neighborhood does not look like what you think it is. It's in a neighborhood that's kind of crammed, and the house is really close to the other houses, and it has almost no backyard. In fact, the back of it butts right up to the LA River, which you never saw on that show. But let's see if it's close enough to walk to, because I could be wrong. Again, I'm not a valley boy. Let's see what we got here. If it's less than a mile, I'll walk. If it's more than a mile, I think I will take you there in my car. So I can use renter-friendly upgrades to make it more comfortable. I can actually do whatever I want in the apartment because it's so old. So I've painted. I would really love to. We got new floors. I would really love to yank out the bathroom sink because it's one of those sinks that's like a bowl. I'm making it sound way nicer than it is, but like there's nowhere to put any beautiful things. Like my brush, my perfume bottles, I'm kidding, but like I can't store anything on the top of the vanity. There's no storage for anything, so I end up putting things there anyway. Everything falls off, and then every once in a while I'll move my knee up and it will literally, that lip of the sink will go in between my kneecap and my leg. All right, Brady Bunch house. Let me see what I can find here. I hate my... Okay, I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to talk. Stop. Of course, I just opened up another screen. All right, microphone. The Brady Bunch house. And then my phone shuts off. Let me open it back up again. And type in my password. And while waiting for it to open up, it will time out because it takes so long. So the Brady Bunch house, directions. Pulling it up on my smartphone. All right, it says it will take me 29 minutes to walk there. So let's do it. It might be boring along the way, but you will have to live with it. You wanted the Bradys? You'll get the Bradys. All right, so we're gonna walk up Cahuenga. We gotta cross the street, I'm pretty sure. Also, if we're walking the wrong direction, I really don't want to walk back. We're totally walking in the wrong direction. It's the other direction. So let's do this. This street's parallel. I won't feel like I'm walking backwards. I'm hoping this doesn't take us to a parking lot. It doesn't. All right, let's see if we can get to Whipple. My favorite Brady, actually, was probably Alice. So I'm taking Valley Heart to Bluffside Drive, and then turning a right. Don't squeeze the shaman. They probably got that name from this street. I used to live on Bronson, and one time I was helping this is the Island neighborhood, a Studio City community. I was helping a woman, and for some reason she said, "Where do you live?" And I was like, "I live in Hollywood. What street?" And I told her Bronson, and she was like, "Oh, that's funny. We selected my husband's last name from that street. He's Charles Bronson." Well, she was his first wife. And also, like, before you live in California, if you've ever watched The Simpsons, like, there are so many LA references, from the Lard Lad donut, which is a combination of Randy's Donuts and Bob's Big Boy. I think...
East on Valley Heart Drive toward Bluffside Drive.
Oh, that's a dead end, so we're not going that way. I think my favorite was, I think I liked Alice the best. What's your favorite episode of the Brady Bunch? My favorite episode is the scary episode where they try to play a prank on Alice and scare her.
Head northeast on Valley Road Drive toward Willow Crest Avenue.
We get it. Same thing with me and Alice. She was just motherly and sassy. I tend to like maids, or the maid character, a lot. Like Florence on the Jeffersons was also beyond compare.
Head east on Valley Hard Drive toward Willow Crest Avenue.
I have 40% battery, and thank you for asking. I have 40% battery, and I also have 40% battery on camera, and the gimbal is at 75% for the monitor and 75% for the mechanism. I have 3 battery packs with me. One of them has been charging the gimbal. Oh my god, it's hot as hell. And it's at 58%, so we're good. I have been having an issue though with the gimbal charging fully. And the issue there is I've been using the wrong cord, so it only will charge like 3/4 of the way. How Americana, right? The old baseball diamond. Patriotic banners. Alice had a rough life, though, after the Brady Bunch. Got a network bump. Hopefully we'll clear that up in a second.
Head southeast on Valley Hard Drive toward Denny Avenue.
Did I just walk to a dead-end street? Nightmare on Elm Street, Genesee, and West Hollywood, also Venice Beach, and they filmed it all over LA. Okay, so I don't know. Sorry, the network is struggling. So of course this is a dead end that I've come to. And honestly, I'm gonna look at my map. I just don't think I can go to the Brady Bunch house today if it's 90 minutes. But hold on. The Brady Bunch house. So directions. It's gonna make me go back the other way. Let's go back the other way. Let's see what we can do. I've never walked up this street before, but I go to the train station at the end, which is Universal City, all the time. Now we're 39 minutes away. Alright, I'm just gonna follow
South
this.
on Riverton Avenue.
I didn't even know I was on Riverton Avenue. Nothing's impossible. Let's see where I end up when I get back out to the street.
Continue on to Valley Hard Drive.
I'm doing the right thing. So that was Riverton. I just missed a turn over here. If I can get back through without having to go to Cahuenga, but I feel like the LA River is to our left, so I might kind of be stuck. Yeah, I'm gonna walk back to Lancashire. Hold on. And then stay on Lancashire. Let's put a pin in it. I love to promise and deliver. So I can maybe do it. It's 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back. That's about a little over an hour. I'm at 2:47 streaming right now. I will save the Brady Bunch. I will absolutely walk to the Brady Bunch house though. Before the summer, probably before the end of the month, for like a short live stream. I wish I could live stream from the train. I'm a little nervous about it because you're close space with people. People get really weird and think you're taping them, as if I use tape. So we'll put a pin in the Brady Bunch house. We'll do it. I owe you a tail end visit, the cult part from yesterday. So that will go up by Tuesday. Tuesday I'll have some more videos for us also. And then maybe I can sneak the Brady Bunch. I also have got Pioneer Chicken on the roster. We've got to go somewhere to eat on Wednesday. Pioneer Chicken isn't really it. So that would be a short live stream drive. Give me 1 second. We are still, I'm just stick that live there so you know I'm still here. I can't believe how unstable my network is on this side of the street. There we go. Sorry, unstable network. So I will take us to the Brady Bunch. I will, not today, but I will do it this week. I will also get the second half of that video. I don't know if you heard me or we pooped out back there, but the second half of the Cults video up by Tuesday. We have some new member video dropping on Tuesday, maybe a short or two. Hello, Bill. I think I'm going to walk us back up to Campo Cahuenga and sign off for the day. But I will see you tomorrow. I'm probably going to go on earlier tomorrow. I meant to put this up, as I always say. I'm going to go home and I'll put it up within 2 hours. But all the Earth Day events, I think I said this kind of in the beginning. I mean, they're great if you have kids, but I'm going there without kids and a camera on a gimbal. It kind of makes me feel creepy. Oh. So I think, note to self, always wear shorts in the valley. I want to take a second to thank all of our Sidewalk Surfer members before I go. I'm still walking back to the train station, so we got a couple minutes. But I really appreciate you guys, your support. I really appreciate the support of the folks that joined and subscribed, chat, and liked. Really kind of making a really fun community that full of people that I love to see, or just talk to, because we haven't really seen each other yet. So thanks so much. Thanks for joining when you can. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for subscribing. We will be on tomorrow, probably in the 12 to 1 o'clock area. I always kind of like that on a Sunday. Not too early, not too late. Thank you for being on board. The surfboard, that is. Have an awesome rest of your Saturday night. I will be here tomorrow. Cheers. My theme song. I'm gonna get some ice cream. Or maybe two. Extra large.